This is Sexy Funny Raw, where we chat all about the world of sex, from dating and relationships all the way to the adult industry itself. I'm Silvia Saige, and this is my Pornspective, answering all the questions you weren't even brave enough to ask Google. Get ready, because Sexy Funny Raw
I ask Google some
starts
crazy
now.
questions.
Yeah.
It's literally my job.
I bet, dude.
Welcome back to another hilarious episode of Sexy Funny Raw. I am joined today by, of course, my co-host, Dr. Eddie. He's bringing us a public health perspective on all things sex and sexuality. And I am very happy to bring our other guest on today, I'm a doctor, Johnny Mitchell. Wow.
Nope. Doctor's right. That's what you address me. That's my pronoun. That's my pronoun. You have to call a person by their pronoun now, right? I am Dr. Johnny Mitchell, African-American female comedian.
There
Great
you
to
go.
be here.
He said it all. He said
Yep.
it all. Actor, podcaster, and compulsive liar, Johnny Mitchell is here with us in studio today.
Nice. Not far off.
On today's episode, you guys, we are going to be talking sexuality and orientation. So let's dig right into it. There is so much to be covered on this exact topic. Sexuality, of course, we know is not just about sex. Certain body parts that are associated with males and females. Sexuality includes sexual orientations, such as who a person is attracted to and whether the person identifies as heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, or as well as other sexual.
Personality-wise, you know me. Dudes. 100% attracted to dudes.
Of course.
So,
Why else would you put yourself in prison?
well,
Voluntarily?
exactly. So I just need tits on a dude, and they have that now, thank God. So I'm covered.
They're called trans individuals, and I am going to address them respectfully because I am into trans men and women. I actually love having sex with trans women. I am very turned on by that aesthetic. I love a woman's breast, and I love like a woman's like facial features and the softness of their lips. But I also want them to have a penis. This is just my personal preference because I really enjoy penis. Okay, so it's gonna go like this the whole show, you guys, just so we know. Okay, so obviously sexuality has to do with how you identify, and if you experience sexual and romantic attraction and your interest and your preferences around sexual and romantic relationships and your behavior, right? So, but let's talk about that because you have to be able to explore these options and able to know what you're into, right? If you grew up, say you, Johnny, if you were to grow up in middle school, you started fooling around with boys, you'd be what? Labeled gay. Right away, right? So you don't necessarily...
And how could I get that label? That's crazy to think that.
But you don't necessarily have the opportunity to explore and find out if you do enjoy men sexually as opposed to women. I feel like we are given more sexual freedom.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
And men almost want us to try sex with other women and see if that's something we're into, almost so they can bring it back to themselves or just enjoy watching it. But it's more of a freedom with our sexuality than it is for men.
Very true. And we don't talk about that enough.
But
the sexism within the orientation scale.
But there are definitely a lot of men who identify as heterosexual or identify as straight who are having sex with gay men or with trans women and are not necessarily changing their heterosexual label.
Right. But don't you think that's a
still
closeted, don't you think that's old school guys that felt like forced to get married to a woman?
I don't think it's that.
I think it's a scale. It's just
I think there are a lot of married men with children who are still having sex with gay men and just not making it their
telling their wives.
Right, but in the same breath in saying that, I have sex with women.
Right.
But no one calls me a lesbian. People just let me be a straight woman
Very true.
and still have sex with women.
Right, but that's for money though. Or do you do that on your free time too?
I mean, in college, I think like when it's
everybody's had a
allowed,
roommate,
when
right.
it's allowed that you're supposed to be sexually experimenting.
Right.
I definitely tried things with other women, but it's not my preference. I don't want to date women. I don't want to have a relationship with a woman, but I can still be sexually enthralled by them.
Right. Well, you know what I think it is? I think it's because the barrier to entry is much higher for gay sex. That shit hurts.
The barrier to entry.
No, and that wasn't even a pun. That was just brilliant. That's the barrier to butt sex. That's man's work. You know what I mean? There's nothing gay about gay. I used to do a bit about it. There's nothing gay about gay sex.
Yeah.
That is like,
it's a man's
that's
job.
like construction workers should be doing that.
Yeah.
That's tough work. Whereas
Yeah.
like, there's beauty in two chicks rubbing their clams together. It's like, you know,
But is there?
rubbing sticks together to make a fire. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just, you know, that's why, like, I think, you know, even though everybody's gay on the scale, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like scientifically proven. Is Dr. Eddie, is that not true? Everybody's a little, there's very few 100% either way, right?
That is, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I think we're all on some sort of spectrum and what you're comfortable with.
It's certainly a continuum that changes over time, or at least I mean, a lot of the science does suggest.
Yeah.
Right. That
Right.
There's a continuum over time, and what you are now doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're going to be always.
Forever.
And so,
Well,
you know, we don't give that flexibility to change.
Right.
But
yeah,
I also think, and you mentioned it in the setup of this show, is you talked about how even in like teenage years, it's a little bit more, now I don't want to say exploratory, but a little bit more questioning, because you're starting to develop like, oh, I really like hanging out with my male best friend or my female best friend. And you don't really know if those are love feelings, if those are sexual feelings, if those are just caring feelings. So there might be
Right.
some confusion in that of like, am I attracted to this person, or do I just think that they're really funny? Do you know? So there can be some confusion in growing up with what you are actually attracted to. Yes? I just personally
I think it's pretty natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
to like have those questions with a friend. And I know for a fact, I've had this discussion with my brother. He was trying sexual things with his male friends.
Yeah, that's old school. That's old school for sure.
Yeah.
Is your brother older than you?
He's 41 now.
That would, dude.
yeah.
That was a Gen Z thing.
Yeah.
Every straight friends were sucking each other off back then.
Yeah.
Then it became my generation, millennials. We never sucked each other off, and that's one of my greatest regrets is not blowing one of my friends. I'm not even bullshitting, because first of all,
I
they
know
give me a
some
lot of
people.
ammo in this woke world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But now I know that it's just not for me. I just know that because it's like,
But you haven't tried it.
but I would have gone through heartache. Like the way I see, like my preference is based off of like who I'm drawn to, not animalistically, but who I want to like cohabitate with, right? So like my ex, like I know that I'm into pussy because it's like I want to like, I went through so many things to try to like build a life with her, where it's
Right.
like, do you know what I mean? Ultimately, I know that's my preference, because what long term do I want?
But
want
don't you
a
have
woman.
long-term friends, guy friends?
Yeah, but I wouldn't, you know, have gone through all the shit that I went through with my ex for them. I just know that, you know.
Okay.
So, but yeah, could I have gotten hard getting blown by one of them? I'm gonna have to go back to prison to see. But I can't say for sure that I wouldn't have, you know. But I think as the generations go on, there's less friends are sucking each other off, which
Yeah.
is weird because it's getting more progressive.
Do you think?
So it doesn't make sense.
Do you think it's because it's more politicized?
I think it's because yes, I think it's because less homophobia means like less boys experiment, because they're like, there's not a stigma around it. So people that truly know they're gay know from a young age. They know in middle school, like you feel it biologically. So there's less experimenting and more of like, hey, this is just who I am, and I will find a like-minded person, and we don't have to hide shit.
Right.
You know, this isn't hard science, but
Do you think that the hidden aspect was more like the taboo of like trying it just because it was wrong?
That too, for sure. Which I think gay people miss. I think gay dudes miss the taboo of it. That's like the Louis C.K. joke, you know? Oh, the guy's fucking another guy. He's like, this would break my mother's heart. That's great. That's a great
I
bit.
mean,
My gay friends think it's hilarious.
I just equate, that's not a word. I equate that to like the same as like weed being legal. Like just because I'm
Right.
not buying from a dealer anymore doesn't mean I still don't want to get high. Sure, it's easier to get, but I still really like to get high, you know?
Sure.
I'm not going to quit smoking weed because I
Right.
can get it at a dispensary.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Well, you've never topped, because that's way better than drinking or smoking weed. Dr. Eddie?
I absolutely have
Your
topped.
thoughts?
You don't know my sex life. I've 100% topped.
I believe you.
I think that we wrap up ideals of masculinity and what's okay and what's been okay historically.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Culturally and socially. And so that's had a huge influence historically and currently on people, what's okay to experiment or what's not. So a lot of what you're saying, Johnny, sounds like a lot of those things are wrapped up in a lot of your jokes and a lot of your comments there, right? So you have like this historical memory of what masculinity meant and what it didn't mean and what it means to be a man and not be a man.
Right.
Like all of those historical things have nothing to do with gayness, have to do with like cultural perspectives of masculinity.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I think it's problematic perhaps a little bit to hold on to that so tightly and not give anybody any leeway.
Right.
And so that's where it becomes a problem, where we're not giving other people the freedom to do whatever the hell they want. Like,
I think everybody has freedom now to do whatever they want. That's the thing.
I would disagree 100%. Because it depends on where you live, and it depends on who your parents are, and it depends what part of this country you're in.
For sure, but I mean, like legally, there's nobody stopping you from going and doing gay stuff. Like, there's no laws.
Sodomy's still illegal.
I think there's like one law in Alabama. Places. I think it's pretty rare that it
is pretty rare.
Nobody's hauling you off to jail for sodomy. Unless it's not consensual, which is our next episode, folks. So, yeah, I mean, but no, for sure. Everything I'm saying is totally a social construct. But at the end of the day, I think, I don't know. It's instinct is, our most powerful things as humans, right? Like, I know from instinct that I am a heterosexual man, more than I am a gay man, whatever percentage that is. I'm sure we can figure that out. Maybe I'm 20% gay, but I'm still 80% straight because, like, my instinct is to, like, make money, to woo my girlfriend, to, like, have a family. Like, I want all those things. I'm not lying.
Right.
I'm not, like, I live in LA. I could go fuck around with it, experiment with a dude, but I'm just not drawn to it. You know what I mean?
Do you think we'll ever get to a point where it's socially acceptable for everyone to dabble a little?
I mean, in the U.S., I think we're deeply wrapped in with religion. Different parts of the world are definitely wrapped up, regardless of whatever religion we're talking about. And so religion plays a huge role in a lot of those kind of rules and laws in certain places. So I don't know. Theoretically, people should be able to live whatever life they want to live.
I don't understand how politics are so wrapped in people's sexual lives.
Especially in this country, it's very annoying compared to like Europe.
Yeah.
Like, why are we so fucking weird about sex?
Why are we concerned with who everybody is having sex with?
Yeah,
it's a very
fucking crazy
weird thing for me. And I don't like it that it's politicized in a way of like this party believes this and this party believes this.
Yeah.
It just gets so like mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
It's become even more polarized recently.
Yeah.
Right? So like, the extremes are bigger lately than ever before.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about taking away women's rights to health.
Yes.
We're taking away marriage for like LGBT community.
Yeah, it's
like,
not all bad.
All of these things are in a state of flux constantly.
Right.
And so for some people in this country, it feels that it's going backwards. And
100%.
for others, it feels that it's finally going forward.
Right.
And so there's like very polarized as a community.
But it's the Bible, dude. It's religion, in my opinion. And it's because Europe's way older.
Yeah.
So they went through all the shit that we're going through, but just centuries ago.
Right.
So now, we're going, we're still very much like, rooted in like Judeo-Christian beliefs. You know what I mean? Because that's who founded the country. Well, obviously it was the Native Americans, but it was like, they're it was developed as a society by like Europeans of a certain faith. So it's just, it's just we need a couple more centuries, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that statement 100%.
Europe isn't a blanket kind of liberal place across the board, right?
No,
so it's going to depend because each one isn't like each country is going to be its own individual world.
Yeah,
that's very
true.
specific things. So depending on what European country we're talking about, sodomy's still not
okay.
Gay is not.
I didn't mean Ukraine or Russia. I meant the real white European countries. I'm talking England to Greece to Italy to Germany. They're very, very much. You stop at the Iron Bloc, right? You stop at the East, but Ukraine and Russia, they're like Asia almost. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Western Even in the Czech Republic, and now this has become a geopolitical fucking discussion, but no, Europe across the board, I'm confident to say, is much more sexually liberal.
I'll just
You know what
say
I mean?
you did.
It's a fact. You go
did-
watch porn. They show pornography on regular. They have
Television,
times and
yeah.
regular television over there.
Yeah, we
This
used
is
to
not
do
me
that.
making this up. It's true.
We used to do that in the 90s on HBO and Showtime. So
Right.
we
But
just-
now I want to.
we're regressing.
I want to slip to channel 5 and watch porn right
But is
before.
it pornography or is it nudity and
With
relationship
sexuality.
It
body,
might
right?
be. Yeah, it might
So
be just
there's a
nudity or
lot
like
of that
softcore
as well.
shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's not necessarily the penetration that you're seeing so much as like the act of lovemaking per se,
Right.
and nudity,
And
more
nudity in general, there's
yeah.
a very different perspective, I would say,
Right.
on the body.
Right.
Yeah. I
For
think
sure.
pretty much all television has like a little substain on like actual penetration, like penis into vagina.
Yeah.
But that's kind of just everywhere. But I do think that we are making great strides and coming and a lot far forward of where we used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if we
There's
can,
a lot more penises on TV.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm a huge fan. Big fan.
It's true.
Even on just like regular HBO shows. What was it?
Minx. Minx is about the like Playgirl magazine, I think.
I don't know, but I
Oh, really? And you see a lot of
I'm gonna
cocks in
have
there.
to. I'm gonna have to look
There
that
is
up.
a lot
Makes
of
sense.
Well, there's been some articles recently about the uptick in male frontal nudity
Yeah.
because
Right.
before it wasn't.
You never
female
saw
face.
penises. You
male
just saw
frontal
tits.
nudity that's
Right.
not like
Made fun of.
CGI,
Right.
and that kind of stuff. And so like actual male nudity, like back in the day we had like Boogie Nights,
Right.
right, with like that fake
Yeah.
plastic
Yeah,
appendage.
that's
But
right.
now
And
you're
everyone
actually
was
seeing-
freaking out. They were like, "Oh, you see his cock?" And now
Now
it's
you
like,
see a
yeah.
lot more
You don't.
penises, like
Yeah.
Game of Thrones and all of those
Yeah.
have just more penises because it really shouldn't be that big a deal.
Yes,
Right? And
agreed.
we've been doing that to women
This
Right.
for so long.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but it's still not viewed exactly equally, it seems.
Right.
Right? It seems like full frontal male nudity still means a lot more than
Right.
full frontal female nudity.
Yeah.
Right.
But there certainly has been more shows. I've certainly seen more recently.
Well, dicks
Yeah.
aren't great looking. A set of cans.
That
Who
is
wants
so
to look at?
not
Would you rather see my
true.
penis
Like
or
them. It depends
show us
if you
your
like
tits right
penises.
now? We'll
No,
pull it out.
well, you can Google them at any point in time. But I will say, like, as much as I love boobs, and I do, I think they're great. But I love a penis.
You like to just look at a penis.
110%. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's fair
love
enough.
inspecting them. I like to get down there. I want to see all the veins. I want to see all the different regions. I just
Well, the
like
Romans,
'em.
the statue, or the Greeks. What statue is that?
Yes.
Penis.
Well, they have all
The
sorts of
David.
penis statues.
Yeah.
But did you know that small penises were almost regarded as like the hierarchy?
Right.
And so
Yes.
if you were to put a statue with a bigger penis, it would almost be considered more like
Working class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Like these are the Italians. They're,
Right.
they're cement layers.
Right.
You know?
I mean, we still kind of have that with all the white men in Congress. But
Right. No, they got tiny little penises. But they think that's cool. That's
I
whack.
mean, we don't know for a fact, but we can assume.
I mean,
Yeah.
the ones that we haven't seen via sext.
Right.
Sex tapes,
Right, and
yeah,
all of
usually
that stuff,
sex
right?
tapes with children, but
Yeah.
they're in their own world there.
Yeah, it's in a file somewhere that the FBI is not showing us.
But they have them. They have them.
For sure.
Okay, you guys. I think we're gonna wrap up between that. Is
Good
that
app.
is that where we should end here?
So let's go around the scale to everybody. Everybody get the percentages of
Okay,
what
go.
sexual orientation. I think that I think. Man, it's tough to know now. Now I'm questioning.
Are you questioning?
I'm going down to 70% straight.
70%
I'm
straight?
saying I'm 30% gay. That's a healthy level of gay, dude.
a
I'd
healthy
question
level.
why you need to put a number on it.
Because it's fun, because it's easy.
okay.
And so, it's just something we can get math. We can wrap our head around it. Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going 30%, dude.
So that means if
Big.
there was
That's a big-
10 men in front of you, 3 of them you're going down on. Got it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck. Line them up, baby. Line them
One
up.
after the other.
That's a prison shower, dude. 10 men.
I'd even say I'm only like 60% straight.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I really, really love penis. I don't care who it's attached to, though. So,
Right.
But I don't love fake penises. I don't love rubber penises. I don't love like
Dildos?
Yeah, I'm more of like a vibrator girl myself. Dildos are not my favorite cup
It's a
of tea.
vibrating dildo.
Yeah.
Is
have
it
those.
because of the clitoral orgasm versus the...
Yes, and it's also just the feeling of a hard object as opposed to like I feel like the penis has a little give to it.
Yes.
You know?
there is some give to the penis.
Yeah,
Even
and
if
I
it's
prefer-
rock hard. It's
Yeah,
true.
I prefer that. yeah. Okay, Johnny, tell the people where they can find you.
At Mr. Johnny Mitchell on Instagram, youtube.com/Johnny Mitchell on YouTube. The Fuck Men podcast with Leo DeTavio. We give sex and dating advice, real sex and dating advice, not this bullshit you see online. We give, what to do when her pussy stinks. That kind of shit. That's a real thing. So it's a great podcast. Please go check it out. We're all over the internet. The Fuck Men. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
She needs to go to the doctor. That's what she needs to do.
We actually
'cause
spoke
there's
about
an infection.
we spoke about hygiene a few episodes ago.
Right.
So
Yeah. And we're going to talk about some more things on this next episode. So, again, thank you, Dr. Eddie, for coming in and giving us the public health perspective on everything. And until next time, you guys, adios.